Hello YouTube, Wes here, checking in with a new video for you today, and as you probably gleaned from the title, this is going to be a video about home theater and my DVD and Blu-ray collection. So if you're here looking for vinyl, looking for specific music related topics, this is probably not the video for you. So if you're not interested in movies and home theaters and movie collecting, then I got plenty more music-related videos here on the channel, so let's go ahead and get into it. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, I do mainly do music-related content here, but due to a recent upgrade to our TV here at the house, finally moved into the 4K realm, and it got a 4K Blu-ray player, finally moving up in the world, so to speak, and it's been really nice, and it's sort of re-sparked my interest in home theater and movie collecting and movies in general, because it's a much nicer experience to have that extra resolution, and it's just gotten me back into movies, as I said. And it's something early on, you know, right when DVDs came out, I was pretty early on the bandwagon as far as getting into DVDs, and I spent way too much on my first DVD player, but at the time they were really expensive, and I found a deal, what was at the time a really great deal on a DVD player. So got into that pretty early, and then when HD came around, I was really early on the band. I actually started on between Blu-ray and HD DVD. I actually went the HD DVD route because at the time it had better specs and better features. And you know, over time, Blu-ray adopted a lot of the features from HD DVD to sort of balance out the field. And in the end, HD DVD ended up losing. But there was a time when as I said, I first had HD DVD when I first went HD, and then over time I got a Blu-ray player as well, and there was a time when I had both. So yeah, I sort of was into the movie collecting and home theater kind of hobby pretty hardcore in my 20s, early 30s, and then in the last 10 years or so I've kind of let it slip a little bit, just haven't been as into it as I was, and now I'm starting to get back into it and starting to collect. So this is my collection. It has been whittled down over the years. As I said, I sort of moved away from collecting, so you know, over the past 10 years or so, I've sold off a lot of things, you know, a lot of movies that I just wasn't interested in having anymore. So the collection kind of got whittled down, and I've been getting back into collecting now, and I've been picking up movies at Goodwill when I'm there looking for vinyl, and other places here and there finding good deals on movies. So it's a really good time to be collecting, I think. DVDs are still a great format, and they're cheap and readily available. My local Goodwill sells them for 99 cents a piece, or 3 for $2, I believe is the deal, or maybe it's 5 for $3, some sort of deal they have. So those are pretty inexpensive, and yeah. So this video is going to be long as it is, so I say let's go ahead and get into it. And I just want to share with you what my current collection looks like. These are the movies that I have actually given as I sort of like to do critical listening on my vinyl before I add it into the collection. I do critical viewing of movies before I add them to the collection and say there's something I want to keep. So I do have a lot more than what I'm going to show you today, but you know, that's sort of I have a vinyl inbox, and I have a Blu-ray and DVD inbox as well that's pretty plentiful, as is my vinyl inbox. So that's sort of how I do things, and I like to have a lot of choices and a lot of new things to watch all the time. So that's how I do that. But these are the ones I've watched and given a critical viewing of, and there's stuff that I'm keeping in my collection. So let's just go ahead and get started. First thing I have here is the PBS series American Epic on Blu-ray. This is from about 2 to 3 years ago now. Really good series about American music, you know, early roots Americana, blues, country, all that kind of stuff, and how all that, you know, anything that was truly an American musical style, they did a really good job of that. So this was a really enjoyable documentary series. Next thing, this is definitely a classic here, I guess you could say. Not really a classic, but a modern classic, the James Cameron's Avatar movie. Really loved this movie. I believe this was the first movie me and my husband went to see in the theater, so when we were first dating, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, just a great movie, and absolutely have to have this on Blu-ray, and probably will move this to 4K. I don't know how good the 4K looks on this, but yeah, for right now we have the Blu-ray, and it looks great as it is. Next up, this is just the Avia Guide to Home Theater. At the time that I bought this, I think this was the recommended setup disc for tweaking your TV set picture settings and everything, so that's what I bought. I probably need to find a 4K setup disc to do some tweaking on this new TV set we have, but at the time this was a really good setup disc, and I used it, and yeah, still in the collection. And next up we have the movie Baby Driver. A little bit difficult to watch because of Kevin Spacey, but a great movie, and I really enjoyed it immensely, and how it was shot, and how the action was really shot really well in this movie, and it's just an enjoyable, fun ride of a movie, and liked it quite a bit. So yeah, Baby Driver on Blu-ray. And if you see these sort of plastic sleeves, if I get a DVD or a Blu-ray that doesn't have a slip case or any kind of unique packaging, it just has generic, the blue case or the black case kind of thing, I just put them in these sleeves to sort of save space in my collection, because space is always a limited commodity when you're a collector of things. So that's what these are. All right, next thing I have here is the 20th anniversary collector's edition of Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2. Just, again, another fun ride of an action kind of movie series. I really love both of these movies. This is one of those series where the sequel actually sort of went above and beyond the original, and it's just as enjoyable as the original. And a lot of times sequels are just kind of letdowns, but in the sequel they just bumped up the action, bumped up the scope of locations in Miami and stuff, and it was just, I love both of these movies. And there is a Bad Boys 3 coming out in January, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that when it comes out. So yeah, definitely love both of these movies, and definitely something I keep in my collection. All right, these next two I'll talk about quickly. They aren't actually movies. They are movies about home brewing and beer, basic brewing video, introduction to extract brewing, and stepping into all grain. They're just instructional DVDs about home brewing of beer, something I got into for a little while, but I've decided that I really just enjoy drinking the beer. I'm not really into making it and making recipes and stuff like that, but these are good to know, to have basic knowledge of how beer is made and how different flavors are formed and all those kind of things. So yeah, just have those in my collection. Next thing is an LGBTQ movie titled Beautiful Thing. This is a movie out of the UK. Really awesome movie. Would be enjoyable to just about anyone. Some really great characters in here, and yeah, just a fun LGBTQ movie from the UK. Definitely a favorite of mine, so that's in my collection. Next up, pretty recent movie here as well. We have Spike Lee's Black Klansman. Really good movie. Definitely a very jarring punch in the face at the end there, but it kind of wraps things up. But yeah, really excellent movie, and I'm glad to have this in the collection. Next up, here's a really old one here, The Blue Lagoon, with Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins. That's on DVD. Definitely a movie that probably could not be made today, but yeah, very interesting piece of film there. So enjoyed seeing that. Here's another one, Bohemian Rhapsody on Blu-ray. Of course, the story of the band Queen. I think most people have seen this by now, or if anybody has wanted to see it, they've seen it by now. But yeah, really enjoyed this movie a lot. Next one, another LGBTQ movie, but this is a mainstream one. This was Boy Erased, with Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe. Also has Troye Sivan in it. Yeah, really good movie about conversion therapy and that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely wanted to. I'm definitely glad to have this in the collection. All right, next up, I am a Michael Moore fan. I'm a fan of documentaries in general, and he's one of the big names in the documentary world. So this is his movie Bowling for Columbine, classic of his, really good documentary. So I have that in the collection. Here is another LGBTQ related thing. This is Boys Life 3. These are a series of shorts of gay themed short films. Have that in the collection. Some of these are just sort of Goodwill pickups and stuff, so just things I have. Here's a music related one. This is Britney Spears' Femme Fatale. If you follow my vinyl channel, you know I do collect Britney stuff, and definitely have this concert DVD on Blu-ray. I find concerts to be too expensive to go to, especially since I usually have to drive 2 hours to go to them. Just too expensive for me, so I enjoy watching them on home theater. Here's another sort of modern, mainstream LGBTQ related movie. The movie Call Me By Your Name. Academy Award nominee. Excellent movie. Really enjoyed this movie and the slow burn it was, and just, yeah, definitely loved seeing that one. Another one from Michael Moore, another really good one, Capitalism, A Love Story, and that's on Blu-ray. These next two go together. They're a TV show, Chappelles Show Season 1 and Season 2. I do not have Season 3 because Season 3 was bad. I think even Dave himself would say Season 3 was bad because things were already falling apart before they even started making Season 3, I think. So yeah. But Season 1 and 2 are classics, and yeah, awesome stuff. If you haven't seen Chappelle's Show, check it out. Classic stuff there. Next one, holiday classic, A Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out on Blu-ray. Definitely have to have that one in the collection. Watch around the holiday season. Getting into, well, this is not a Christmas movie, but a classic animated movie that I absolutely love. One of my favorites, Chicken Run. Hilarious movie. Yeah, just awesome stuff. From the Aardman Studios, Wallace and Gromit. Excellent. Next thing, another holiday classic here, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That one's another one that's fun to watch during the holiday season. A lesser known Christmas movie, but one I really enjoy, is Christmas with the Kranks with Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, I find it funny and I enjoy it, and it's a good holiday movie. All right, next up we have Paul Newman and Tom Cruise in The Color of Money on Blu-ray. Classic movie, sort of a sequel to The Hustler that Paul Newman made in the 60s. I'm kind of sad that they weren't able to make. I would have loved to have had another sort of sequel to this series. Just a third movie would have been awesome. Just to, every 20 or so years make a movie of what's going on with Paul Newman's character. It would have been kind of interesting to sort of explore that. But yeah, both The Hustler and The Color of Money, excellent movies, and definitely have to own those. Next up, a couple of TV series. Again, this is the Columbo Season 2 and Season 3. And they do have a box set of all of the Columbo stuff. I would love to get someday, but I do have these for now, and they're enjoyable to go back and watch. Or no, this is Season 1 and Season 3. Sorry about that. Next up, a burned copy of the TV series. I believe it's from the BBC, Connections, with James Burke. Awesome series he did where he connects pieces of history across decades and centuries of time. Really great series, and Definitely recommend the Connection series if you haven't seen any of those. If you're into history and documentary kind of stuff. This next one is an HD DVD placeholder because I still have not bought this on Blu-ray. It's like $6 on Amazon. I need to just go ahead and buy it, but that is the movie Deliverance. Yeah, probably in my top 10 movies of all time. Excellent movie. Awesome movie, and it's sad that it gets sort of boiled down to one scene that people sort of use as a joke, and it's not really what the movie's about at all. And it's unfortunate, but an excellent movie. So if you're into movies and you haven't seen this, give this a serious watch, and just sort of look past the sort of meme that this sort of generates or whatever, and just watch it as a great piece of cinema, a great piece of movie making. So Deliverance. I need to change this out for Blu-ray for right now. That's my last remaining HD DVD, even though I don't have any way to play it right now. It's there as a placeholder. All right, next up we have Dixie Chicks Storytellers from VH1. I do like the Storytellers series, and these are fun to have. And this does include Blu-ray and a CD, or not a Blu-ray, but a DVD and a CD version of the Storytellers. So I keep that in my DVD collection. All right, this next one is sort of special to me because it was filmed in my hometown, or my parents' current town of Micanopy, Florida. Some of the actual locations were in my parents' neighborhood, so we were sort of in the thick of it when they were filming this movie and had to pass security and all that kind of stuff, and we were able to go watch some of the filming and everything. So it definitely has a special place in my heart, and it's a great movie nonetheless, and it's the movie Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox in it. It also has Woody Harrelson and Julie Warner. This is one I definitely need to. It's recently been released on Blu-ray, and I do need to upgrade to that one. This is just a DVD copy of the original DVD release of this movie. These old cardboard packaging that they used to have. But yeah, definitely has a special place in my heart just because I was able to actually watch some of the filming of it, and the locations are all places I know and the places I drive by to this day on a regular basis. So yeah, Doc Hollywood, definitely a must-have in my collection. Next up is another documentary. I'm really into cars, and I do have a lot of automotive-related documentaries, and this is one about the Baja 1000 titled Dust to Glory. Excellent documentary. If you don't have to be into cars to really enjoy this. Really well done documentary. So Dust to Glory. Awesome Baja 1000 documentary. Done not too long ago, maybe 10-15 years ago. Another LGBTQ movie, a classic LGBTQ movie, a must-see. This is another one I want to upgrade to Blu-ray. The Blu-ray on this is really expensive. But that is the movie Edge of 17. Yeah, just an excellent movie. And another one that's sort of probably on my top 10 lists of all-time movies, Empire of the Sun, Steven Spielberg movie with Christian Bale and Woody Harrelson again in this one. Just an incredible movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. This is a nice collector's book edition of it. All kinds of interesting stuff in there. So yeah, Empire of the Sun. Yeah, one of my, probably in my top 10 movies of all time, and yeah, love that one. All right, next up, I do have some sci-fi in the collection, and when I do enjoy sci-fi, I do appreciate sci-fi. It tends to be more of the cerebral kind of, deep kind of sci-fi stuff. Not really into the pew-pew action-y kind of sci-fi, but this is the movie Event Horizon with Lawrence Fishburne, sci-fi horror movie. Awesome movie, just incredible. I love this one. So Event Horizon on Blu-ray. And another Michael Moore movie, Fahrenheit 9/11. That's in the collection. And then I guess you could call the sequel Fahrenheit 11/9. Fahrenheit 9/11 about George W. Bush, and Fahrenheit 11/9 about Trump. All right, moving on, another LGBTQ movie here, and if you watch my vinyl videos, if you're a fan of collecting vinyl and you have seen Derek Higgins' channel, if you're familiar with him and his music and stuff, he actually did he did the score to this movie, and he's also in the movie in a cameo role kind of thing, but that is the movie Flyover Country. So yeah, another sort of fun, kind of depressing LGBTQ kind of movie. Next one is another movie I really love, and it was kind of a surprise to me. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, and I really found that I love this movie and I really enjoyed it. It's kind of one of those movies that I think a lot of people see, and they going in, they're not expecting much, and it kind of delivers, and that is the movie The Founder, about the beginning of the McDonald's company, the McDonald's restaurant chain. Yeah, really good movie. So if you haven't seen The Founder, I definitely recommend checking it out. Gives you sort of a backstory of McDonald's and how it started and everything. Kind of a good movie. Next one is another holiday theme, Christmas theme, kind of double feature here. We got Four Christmases and Fred Claus. Just some fun movies. I liked Four Christmases. Fred Claus is just okay. All right, next up is a series of movies out of Japan. These are automotive-related movies about having to do with sports cars, and so it features a lot of Japanese sports cars from the 80s and 90s. So definitely something that I'm interested in. I love Japanese cars. So this is the movie series Freeway Speedway. So this is Freeway Speedway 1. And this is kind of like the Japanese version of maybe like a Fast and the Furious, but not really. It's more of it's a series of movies they made about cars and the car culture. But it's not as flashy. It's more realistic than Fast and the Furious is. But yeah, great series of movies. So that's Freeway Speedway 1, Freeway Speedway 2, Freeway Speedway 3, and Freeway Speedway 4. These next two are vinyl-related documentaries. Probably are familiar with Michael Fremer, and he made some vinyl-related documentaries many, many years ago before YouTube was really a thing. So we got It's a Vinyl World After All and 21st Century Vinyl. He visits pressing plants and talks to collectors and talks about turntables and how to set up a turntable, and it's just sort of random stuff related to vinyl collecting and vinyl making and pressing and all that kind of stuff. So if you're geeky and into vinyl, then this stuff could interest you, but otherwise, probably not of interest to you. But those two are in my collection. You own them. All right, next up is the HBO series From the Earth to the Moon, and this is an incredible series. I did not see this when it came out. I saw this many, many years later. Really awesome mini-series. All about the voyage to the moon. So yeah, From the Earth to the Moon, definitely highly recommended by me. If you haven't seen it, definitely check that one out, especially since we just did the 50th anniversary. This stuff's sort of been in the public eye a bit, and this was really, really well done. Next up, we have Gone in 60 Seconds, and not the crappy Nicolas Cage version. This is the original version by H.B. Halicki. A lot of the scenes in this movie, the great car, a lot of the action driving scenes in this movie, they did not have permission to be doing. There's a crash in here that was not planned, but it made the final cut of the film. Really, really raw, really guerrilla style kind of movie, and yeah, definitely a classic. And don't watch that crappy Nicolas Cage version. Watch this one. Definitely way better. More realistic, I will say that. Next up, this was a fun one. I had never really watched this show before, and found a good deal on the entire series. Went ahead and bought it and made our way through it over a period of time. That's the series Good Times. Yeah, really fun series, and really enjoyed seeing this series. So yeah, that's in my collection. Yeah, I just saw something on Facebook the other day where people were talking about, back in the day, if you missed an episode of a show, you missed the episode. There was no replay, there was no DVDs or video or anything. You just missed it. So a lot of those older shows, there's episodes that I've never seen. Even though it was something I followed, maybe a week I wasn't able to be in front of the TV to see it, and you missed it. It's kind of a funny thing kids today won't be able to understand. Okay, next thing. This is probably if you had to ask me my favorite movie of all time, this is probably it. It's definitely a kids movie, but I still love this movie today, and it's a classic, and it's The Goonies. And this is like a super deluxe 25th anniversary collection. It's got like a board game and a doubloon and all kinds of crazy stuff in here. But yeah, this is on Blu-ray. So yeah, classic Goonies movie, or classic movie, The Goonies. And this one's absolutely in my collection, and probably my favorite movie of all time, if I had to name just one. All right, this next one, again, staying in the sort of that cerebral sci-fi sort of thing. It's the movie Gravity, Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Yeah, definitely enjoyed that movie. That's on Blu-ray. Next up, we have Hanson Underneath Acoustic Live. So just a live performance by Hanson. Do collect Hanson stuff, so that's in the collection. The original DVD release of A Hard Day's Night, Beatles movie. I think this has been put on the Criterion Collection, but this is just the original DVD release of it. Still looks great in this format, and a lot of bonus features and stuff on here. So really nice piece for the collection. This next one is the series of short films done by BMW Films titled The Hire. They did these short films in sort of the early 2000s, just really short action sequences featuring different BMW cars, and they were really well made, and different directors shot each one, and it was a really neat web series, and they put out a DVD, and I bought that. So this has some extra features on it as well, some extended cuts kind of thing, and a really nice piece for the collection if you're into cars. Next up, another Christmas classic, and that is Home Alone on Blu-ray. Another LGBTQ movie here. We have The Houseboy on DVD. Next up, we have Hyde Park on Hudson. I am a fan of FDR, reading things and hearing things about FDR, and so this was a good movie to enjoy that. And okay, so these next series of videos are automotive-related documentary sort of films. These are from before the days of YouTube. Nowadays, these kind of things would probably be shown on YouTube, even though maybe not, because some of it gets a little too wild for YouTube. But nonetheless, these are IMV films, vehicular lunatics vehicular lunacy at its finest. This is just a series of short videos that were made by some friends of mine here locally, in the car scene locally here, and just some documentary style videos. Different. It's sort of hard to explain, but just some real action videos produced with cars. I don't know how best to explain it. This was sort of their more professional debut, Vehicular Lunatics. This was sort of the early days, and a lot more just real short clips that were put together on a DVD. This is more of a full-length documentary that sort of follows people in the car scene locally here and their travels around the country and different automotive events and different things happening. So really cool movie. And then they did Team Torque and the Scumballers, where they went on the Gumball Rally and followed along with a driver in the Gumball Rally. And that's a pretty exciting one. I won't say much more about that because there's a surprise in there. And then after they did the Gumball Rally, they did this sort of off-roading adventure, Moab Like Nothing Else. This was really enjoyable as well. Even though I'm not really into off-roading, it's good. It's a really good one, so I enjoyed that. So those are the IMV Films related stuff, and a lot of that stuff you can buy online still. I just go to imvfilms.com, I think, and you can find that stuff and check them out. Here is the live action version of Initial D. I believe this was made in, was it Korea or China? They made a live action movie of the Initial D anime series, so that's what this movie is. So that's in my collection. All right, next up is I, Tonya on Blu-ray. Really enjoyed that and getting to learn more about the story of this this thing. I sort of remember it from back in the day, but it's kind of interesting to see a movie made about it. That was a fun watch. And we have Natalie Portman in the movie Jackie Kennedy. Another sort of historical piece that sort of documents, or not documents, but tells the story of Jackie Kennedy and the aftermath of the Kennedy assassination and all that stuff. So it was an enjoyable movie. Nice one to have, Blu-ray. Here's another good one, a good music documentary, Jay-Z's Fade to Black. His performance at Madison Square Garden. Really good one. Really enjoyed watching this concert. Here is a movie. This frustrates me to no end. This movie absolutely needs to be put onto Blu-ray. This DVD, it is a widescreen 4:3 version of the film. So if you watch this on a widescreen TV, you get like this postage stamp sized picture in the middle of your screen that the movie fills up. And this DVD was really re-released in 2009. They did not do anything different. It's still a widescreen 4:3 picture, so you get that postage stamp in the middle of your screen. You can blow it up if you want, on your screen, sort of zoom it in, but then it gets really blocky and bad looking. So this is an amazing movie. It's beautifully filmed. It desperately needs a Blu-ray transfer, but an awesome film, and I love this film, and it's just an incredible film. Yeah, absolutely. If anybody's watching that can make this happen, please, dear God, put this on Blu-ray. Oh, it's so fresh. It's unwatchable at this point because it's horribly formatted. But I have it just because I love the movie so much. Next up was a really fun one. That's the movie Lady Bird. Yeah, just a kind of a mother-daughter relationship kind of movie, and yeah, definitely a very interesting movie, and enjoyed watching that. Next up is the Laramie Project, the HBO sort of the making of the Laramie Project kind of thing. It's kind of a weird story. Another all-time favorite of mine. There was a time when I was really heavy into action movies, and less now, but this was definitely a long-time favorite of mine, and that's Bruce Willis's Last Man Standing. Just awesome action movie. Kind of a mix between an action movie and a western. Just an awesome story. So if you're into action and western kind of thing, and you haven't seen Last Man Standing, definitely check that one out. Excellent movie. This is another, I believe, Chinese movie titled The Legend of Speed. Another sort of 90s car culture movie made in Asia, so a lot of Asian cars and stuff, and pretty interesting story, and a good movie to see a lot of unique and interesting cars. Next up, another music-related one here. This is Linkin Park Live in Texas. So that's their Live in Texas DVD. This is a Little House on the Prairie, a Merry Ingalls Christmas. So just some, I believe there's 2 episodes on here. Yeah, 2 holiday specials from the Little House on the Prairie series. Another mainstream LGBTQ movie from recent years. Really, really enjoyable movie. Definitely love this one. It's Love, Simon. Good story and really well made. Definitely enjoyed seeing that one. A sci-fi comedy, Mars Attacks. This is a classic. This is one I probably should upgrade to Blu-ray. I think it's on Blu-ray. But yeah, classic sci-fi comedy there. Really hilarious movie. Next up we have Matt Damon's The Martian. They're definitely a slow burn of a sci-fi kind of thriller kind of thing, and yeah, I really love this movie. I read the book first and then I watched the movie. This is one I'm probably going to upgrade to 4K, but I might keep this original. This is the original cut, but the 4K I want to get the extended cut just to see it. So yeah, that's probably going to be a 4K upgrade at some point, but yeah, definitely really well-loved movie of mine. The book is great too. The book even has some more things that the movie had to cut out, but they did a pretty good job. They got most of it in there, which is pretty amazing. Here's a fun comedy, Bill Murray, The Man Who Knew Too Little. Hilarious movie. Alright, and these next, we'll just go ahead and show them all at once. I do have all of the seasons of this, but these are just the first 4 seasons of MacGyver, my favorite TV show growing up. And this sort of harkens back to that what I said earlier about when you're back in the 80s or whatever, back in the day, if you missed a show, you missed a show. So yeah, there were MacGyver episodes that I just hadn't seen, even though I tried to watch every one. Sometimes you were out of town, sometimes you got in trouble and you weren't allowed to watch TV, whatever it may be. But yeah, as I said, I do have all the series, but this is just the first 4 seasons of MacGyver. My favorite TV show growing up. All right, next up, staying on the TV show theme, we have Matlock, season 1. I enjoy Matlock, and this is just fun, enjoyable stuff, and these seasons are pretty inexpensive, so I got season 1. I'll probably get the next season pretty soon. It's been a while since we dove into these, so probably about time to dive back in and watch season 2, but it's enjoyable to watch these. Okay, so my Criterion collection is very small at this point. It's just starting out, even though I have picked up several at Goodwill over the past couple years. Occasionally I'll find a Criterion film there. Definitely want to have more of these and sort of expand this collection, but the most recent Criterion film I bought is the Midnight Cowboy. Awesome film. It was a movie I hadn't seen before, so it was really nice to experience this in the Criterion collection. And so I have that one. Next one, another Kevin Spacey movie that's probably difficult to watch now, even though I haven't watched it in many, many years, but it was a good movie at the time. That's Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. A classic there. All right, here are another series of automotive related DVDs. As I said, this was a time before YouTube was really a thing, so when you wanted to see automotive related stuff, you bought it on DVD. So this is the series Mischief 3000. Pretty well known series of automotive related films. So this is episode 2, Mischief 3000. There's Mischief 5, Dynasty. Mischief Invasion. And Mischief Enjoy. So it's just people doing crazy stuff with cars. And okay, so this was the Academy Award movie of the year a couple years ago. and definitely another LGBTQ themed movie, an excellent movie, and that is Moonlight. Yeah, really enjoyed this movie and what it said, and just definitely a very good story and very well shot, and definitely deserving of the Academy Award. So that's Moonlight. I am a big Michael Cera fan. I have this soundtrack to this movie on vinyl, and that is Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist on Blu-ray. Yeah, really love this movie. And as I said, I'm a fan of Michael Cera. This next one is a documentary done by a local Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer. He did a movie documenting him going through cancer treatment. Really cool story, just something I found in Goodwill one day and picked it up, and that is Not As I Pictured, done by John Kaplan. Next up, another TV series. This was a fake TV series, a fake docu-series done on MTV, and that's The Osbournes. So I have season 1, season 2, and season 2.5. Really funny series, and I enjoyed it. So The Osbournes, yeah, fun stuff. All right, next up, a movie based on a book by John Green, and that is the movie Paper Towns. I read the book. I did not like the book, but I watched the movie. The movie's better than the book, I would say, on this one. Yeah, a good movie. I definitely enjoyed the movie. It did a better job of telling the story than the book did, somehow. This next one, another one that had scenes that were filmed locally here. So, like where my office is at, there's some scenes of this movie were shot basically right across the street from my office. That's the movie Parenthood. So yeah, this is just a movie I have for sort of local history's sake, and it's a good movie also. So Parenthood on Blu-ray. Next up, another classic comedy here. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Another Steve Martin movie, and John Candy as well. This is the Those Aren't Pillows edition DVD. Probably should upgrade that. This next up is a series of a TV series out of Australia that I absolutely love. I believe it's available on Hulu now. It was for a time. Just an amazingly shot, even though it's a comedy, it's amazingly shot. I mean, just the composition of all the scenes are just incredible. I believe the director actually won some awards for the way the movie was shot. So if you're a fan of composition in filmmaking, then you'll really appreciate this show. But that's the movie Please Like Me. As I said, out of Australia, done by Josh Thomas. It's a comedy series about being a 20-something guy just going through life, and got some great characters, great dialogue, great scenes, and as I said, really excellent filmmaking. Next up, a movie that's not real well loved, but something I absolutely love, and yeah, I don't know why people don't like this more, but the movie Rango, I thought this was excellent. I love it. Great movie. So I own that one. This next one is sort of a historical piece. I really like this film because it kind of shows you how things can sort of devolve over time. Growing up, we read in history books about the Nazis and how they came to be and all that stuff, and you think how these people are horrible people. How can they be this horrible? And this movie sort of shows you how these kind of things happen, and how sort of dictatorships kind of happen, and how people sort of follow a certain leader, and Just does a really good job of sort of explaining that and showing how easily this happens. So this is a movie, The Reader, with Kate Winslet and Ralph Fiennes. Just an amazing movie, and definitely really a must-watch in my opinion. So, yeah. If you haven't seen the movie The Reader, I highly recommend it. Next up is a pretty new release. That is the movie Rocket Man. This is the Steelbook, the Walmart Steelbook edition on Blu-ray. Walmart had a unique edition. That's one of the things I'm learning now about collecting nowadays, is that each store will have their own special edition of things. You have to go to a certain store to get a certain cover, and some stores will have an exclusive on the 4K version, and it's kind of interesting how that all works nowadays. But the movie Rocket Man on Blu-ray here. I got this before we got the TV, so if I had known, I would have got the 4K version. But yeah, good movie, enjoyable. Not quite as good as Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's also very different. This is a musical film, so be ready for a lot of music in this one. But yeah, a good film. Kind of depressing, a lot more depressing than I was expecting it to be. But really well done. I definitely enjoyed that. Okay, we're finally on to the last stack. I'm about done talking here. My voice is wearing out. Another LGBTQ movie that I really love. This one's been a favorite of mine for a long time now, and that is the movie Rockhaven. Really good movie there. An auto racing movie that's really good, really well done by Ron Howard, and that is the movie Rush. Yeah, really awesome movie. I want to rewatch this now that we have a better TV. It's a really well shot movie and a really good movie. Another sort of lesser known movie that I think more people should know about is Secondhand Lions with Robert Duvall, Michael Caine, and Haley Joel Osment. Yeah, really good story, really fun story. Really good concept of a movie, and definitely enjoyed that. It's a favorite of mine. Next up, another movie documentary. That is the documentary Soundbreaking. I don't know, this is on PBS or... Yeah, this is a PBS series as well. Sort of diving into different aspects of music, and really good documentary. So definitely recommend that if you're into music documentaries. Next up, the 25th anniversary edition of Stand By Me. Classic movie, and yeah, really love this story, and enjoyable movie. Here's another not so well known movie that I think more people should know about. A hilarious Tom Arnold movie, The Stupids. And yeah, it's just one of those so stupid it's hilarious kind of things, and I'm really into absurd kind of things being used in comedy, and so I love this movie. Definitely a favorite of mine. Next up, Tom Hanks in Sully. Glad I got to see this movie. I was sort of curious about the backstory of how the FAA goes in and sort of dives into these crashes and sort of tries to figure out what happened, and this kind of tells the story of how they really tried to put the blame on the pilot and everything, and a good story and a good movie, and I'm glad they made it into a movie. That was really cool. It's sort of a modern day thing made into a movie, and kind of get the more of the story here. Next up, another Criterion Collection. I think this is number 22, so this is very early in the Criterion Collection days, but this is David Lear's Summertime. Yeah, really enjoyable movie. I didn't know anything about this movie going in. This was a Goodwill find, and yeah, really enjoyed that one. So it's a nice one to have. As I said, very early in my Criterion collecting here. Probably next up, my favorite Pixar movie of all time, and that is the movie Up. Definitely a tearjerker, but a great story, and yeah, I love this movie. So, all right, next up, another automotive movie that's something that should be more well known, I think, and definitely something you should check out if you're into cinema at all, and that is the movie Vanishing Point. That's a nice Blu-ray release of this movie. It's beautiful cinematography, great story, great acting. Definitely is a slow burn of a movie, but really, really good movie. All right, next up, I have a Reese Witherspoon movie, Wild here. If you've watched recently, I uploaded a hiking video recently. I do like hiking in the outdoors, and so movies about that interest me. So I got this movie. I've actually read the book several years ago and enjoyed that, and the book was a lot more detailed than the movie. I think the book was better than the movie, but the movie is not bad. And it's cool to sort of see the scenery and stuff. So that was nice. So Reese Witherspoon's Wild. Another music related one here. We have Weird Al Yankovic Live, the Alpocalypse Tour. So a live DVD of Weird Al. Really cool. Next up, another one that people don't seem to like, but I really like this movie a lot. It is Wild Wild West. Kevin Kline, Will Smith, Kenneth Branagh, and Selma Hayek. Yeah, really fun, wild, wacky, kind of steampunky kind of movie. Yeah, I don't know why this movie isn't more well loved, but I like it a lot. I need to upgrade this one to Blu-ray as well. All right, next up, another Paul Newman auto racing movie. That is the movie Winning. Definitely an older film of his, but a really good film and classic piece of auto racing cinema. So I have that in the collection. We have Woodstock, the director's cut. This is a nice one. And again, sticking with the Michael Cera films, I have Youth in Revolt. Really, really enjoyed this one as well. He just plays that sort of character really, really well, and yeah, really, really fun movie. Definitely glad to have that one in the collection. And the last one I have here to show you is the Two Live Crew's Greatest Hits. So some very early Two Live Crew videos on here. So that does it for my current movie collection. As I said, I have a lot more that are sort of in my inbox that haven't been given a sort of a critical viewing yet to decide whether there's something I want to keep for a long time. So yeah, as I go through those and work my way through those, do some updates here on the channel. As I said, I want to talk more about home theater and movies in general here on the channel. So thank you all for tuning in. I know this is going to be a really long one. Thank you if you made it all the way through. Hope you enjoyed what I saw. If you have any comments or questions about any of these movies I've shown, I'm all ears. You know what to do. Put it in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, great night, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.